Hello, my friends. Another day, another watch, another video. And today we have a GMT-2 Batman. But it's not a Rolex. This is an interesting one. It's from Skyrim Wrist. They sent me the watch to take a look at. I do not have to send it back. No money changed hands. And these are going to be my honest opinions, as you will see shortly. We're going to flip this around. It's not quite an unboxing because I already took all the stickers and plastic wrapping and all of that stuff off. But this may be a compelling case to not necessarily avoid the next Rolex purchase, but maybe just spend a little bit of money to see how it feels to wear one before jumping into the deep end. So here we have the box that you can expect from Skyrim Wrist. It is a pleather material, nothing fancy, kind of a bulk order special, and it's not going to cost a ton, which is okay because that means that the money you spend should go into the watch, right? And in this case, the watch is a Rolex GMT-Master II clone, but it's not completely trying to be a GMT-Master II. Because they don't put Rolex on the dial, they put Seiko on the dial because that's the movement that is inside. Now, I'm not going to comment on any of the legality behind this. I just know, as a business owner, that if I was going to sell a product with another company's logo on the dial, I would probably try to avoid it. So I don't know exactly what all the moving parts are there. So you can speculate as you like. So the brand promise here, I'm on their website, and the homepage says redefining icons one custom watch at a time. Timeless silhouettes. Each piece is a tribute to iconic design, crafted by hand and built to last. Over 2 million mod combinations. We blend heritage and individuality using genuine Seiko movements and premium components, all assembled in the US. Now, they might be blending heritage and individuality, but it's very clear that it's not their heritage and individuality. This case, it's Rolex's heritage and individuality. And it's not just Rolex watches either. Looking at the website, I'm seeing lots of brands represented here. So we're looking at Omega and obviously Rolex. We have some Audemars Piguets, Cartier, Patek Philippe, Panerai. There's quite a few things represented on the Skyrim Wrist website, as well as some mods for Seikos, Grand Seikos. At least they're labeled as mods. I haven't looked that far into them. I'm just taking a look at this thing. And this thing seems to be really nice looking, but what are we actually getting here? Let's dive into the specs a bit.
A shooby-dooby-dooby-da-baba-da-bop specs.
We have a 40mm case diameter, 48mm lug to lug, a 12mm thickness, and a 151 gram weight. All those specs are basically exactly the same as the Rolex. The weight might be a couple grams off, but come on, it's pretty good. They even use the same case and bracelet material, the 904L stainless steel with a sapphire crystal. Now, they don't say that there's anti-reflective coating on it, but the way that it's doing a good job handling the studio lights leads me to believe that there is some AR coating there, but don't quote me on that. Only 50 meters water resistance, so falling short a little bit, with the Seiko NH34 movement that has a 41-hour power reserve and is rated to -20 to +40 seconds a day. And I don't mention it later in the video, but yes, the bracelet even has screw links, no push pins, so it's a nice one. All right, let's cut to the chase. The thing feels like a champ. It's built like a tank. They're using the same stainless steel as Rolex. The case diameter, the lug to lug, the measurement between the lugs, the thickness of the watch, it all is matching almost exactly to a Rolex GMT-Master II. So what are the differences? Obviously, we have a Seiko movement. It's the NH34. This is not a flyer style GMT where you can kind of step around the hour hand independently. This is a collar style GMT. So it's going to work a little bit differently, but functionally, you're getting 2 time zones here. Obviously, we have, display case back. Rolex does not do display case backs, so that could be a positive or a negative depending on your personal preference. The clasp, I mean, let's be honest, it's never going to match the quality of a Rolex clasp, but it's pretty good. It functions smooth. It's nice. It has a built-in quick adjust here, micro adjust, where you can just kind of pull this down and then slide it in and out to your liking. I mean, there's a lot of micro adjustment available here. If I can click it back in properly, that would probably help things. So clasp is good. Bracelet is good. The Gardener you may or may not hear in the background right now, not so good. So sorry for the audio, but it is what it is. The bezel. This is not a GMT bezel. I mean, obviously it is a ceramic GMT bezel in its markings, but this is not the 24 click bezel that the Rolex has, I believe. Now, it's a nice dive bezel they put on here. And matter of fact, let's get a little bit of bezel ASMR going. Great bezel action, minimal if any back play, and it's a really nicely functioning bezel on this. It's just not your standard, 12 or 24 click GMT bezel. Again, pretty sure the GMT-Master II has a 24 click on there. Screw down crown, but this is only rated for 50 meters of water resistance. The GMT-Master II from Rolex gives you 100. And the NH34 movement is a 3 hertz movement, not a 4 hertz movement. So the sweep of the seconds hand isn't going to be quite as smooth as you would experience on the Rolex. Outside of that, everything looks pretty good here. And I mean, construction-wise, feeling in hand, it's quality. It really is. And I think there is a place for watches like this. This is not for the person who wants to pretend they're wearing a Rolex. Obviously, it's not a full clone that says Rolex on the dial. We're not trying to fool anybody. It is copying the design. It is kind of a blatant, quote-unquote, ripoff of the design cues and elements and sizing and everything here. But if you ever wanted to feel what it's like to wear a Rolex GMT-Master II on a regular basis, and you don't want to pop for the real thing, or it's just not realistic for you, I mean, these are 5-figure watches. They're what, $11,000, $12,000, $13,000 now. This from Skyrim Wrist is 329 US doll hairs. That's it. 329, and you can kind of get the Rolex look and feel and experience. So if you're somebody who's contemplating making the jump into Rolex and you kind of just want something to try out, this could be a viable purchase for you. If you're someone who knows that they're never going to be able to afford a Rolex, I hope that's not you, because you've given up on some things, and I do not hope that for you. Reach and stretch and chase everything you can, because you are capable more than you ever know. So a lot of people are struggling with self-confidence these days. I hope that's not you. But if it's like a not in the foreseeable future thing for you, maybe you're a decade or a little bit more away from spending $10,000+ on a watch, this can give you that look and feel. Now, I personally would not wear this. I don't want to represent Rolex from a distance and then not be wearing one. There's so many other incredible options that I can attain that aren't pretending and that have original designs. But this isn't a conversation about me. This is a conversation about who this watch is for. Even the Cyclops is of pretty darn good quality here. Let's go ahead and get it on wrist and see how it looks there. On my 8-inch wrist, I got to tell you, this looks really, really nice. The brushed finishings are absolutely nailed. The oyster bracelet is of good quality. I don't know, I guess we can't call it an oyster bracelet, but you guys know what it is. It looks like a GMT-Master II. It looks like I can pull this off and wear it for a long time, and it would be very comfortable for me. I really do enjoy this. On my 8-inch wrist, by the way, this currently has, what do we got? We got a little, we can sneak a finger under there. So it's probably a little bit loose. If I was going to keep this, I'd probably lose one link. But as of right now, it has all links intact, and the micro adjust is on the smallest setting. But on my 8-inch wrist, I really, really like this. Just like I would really, really like a Rolex GMT-Master II, because essentially from more than about 5 feet away, that's exactly what this is. That's what it registers as. So if you're in the market or you just want to try out a Rolex or an Audemars Piguet, Royal Oak, or a Patek Nautilus, or a Cartier Santos, or a Daytona, or an Omega Seamaster, or there's a lot of different ones that Skyrim Wrist offer, all built around reliable Seiko movements, all trying to replicate both the look, heft, feel, material, and build quality of, those holy trinity and, quite frankly, out of reach or outweight listed brands that we all have come to know. And, well, I don't know if y'all love them, but at least they can be appreciated for what they've accomplished in the industry, right? This is something that's worth looking at, because at $329, there's no way that this is going to steal a sale from Rolex anytime soon. That just doesn't track to me. It doesn't make logical sense. There's one more thing for us to look at here. That's the lume. Let's go ahead and do that now. Our real-world lume test from the bright, bright sun into my dimly, darkly lit garage. And, well, there's another difference. Rolex typically uses blue lume, and we have green here. It's a nice application. It's good enough. It's going to tell the time in the dark for a little while. But I really would have liked to see the blue thunder that the Rolex brings. Green, it's fine. Just not my preference. So what are we thinking about this one, everybody? I want any and all opinions down in the comments. Seriously. Positive, negative, or anything in between. I just want to know what you think about this guy, because the jury is out for me. I wouldn't wear it, but I do see a place in the market for products like this. Solely because it's not pretending to be a Rolex. This is not a clone. It's a copy of the design, sure, but it's definitely not a clone. Advertising Seiko on the dial. That's the movement that's inside here. We're not trying to get one over on anybody if they're closer to you than 5 feet or so. Once it gets further away, if somebody's across the dinner table, across the conference table, across the dance floor at the wedding, away from you, they're going to look down at your wrist and think, this is a Rolex. Also, I got to mention, because I live in Southern California, there are some seedy places, in Los Angeles and let's just say other places that are, less desirable, less safe to be in when flaunting valuable things, so to speak. To someone who may or may not be willing to rip this off someone's wrist, it's also going to register to them as a Rolex from a few feet away. So something worth keeping in mind when you travel, right? Is it worth having the $329 piece that could, spark an altercation with a, let's just say, baddie? When my son is watching his TV shows, his superhero TV shows, he refers to the bad guys as baddies. So would you be willing to spark an altercation with a baddie to kind of have something that very closely resembles a Rolex on wrist and could fool somebody from a few feet away? We got to think both good and bad here, right? Personally, not for me. I'm having fun with a bunch of other watches. This watch is something that I've been wearing. This is my kind of blue dial everyday wear. This has been a favorite of mine for the past couple of months. I am loving this Seiko Astron. I have not reviewed it on the channel yet. I will. It's phenomenal. But that kind of fills the place in the collection that this would fill for me, because it does a lot of the same things. And, I'm a watch nerd, so I kind of dig the Seiko Astron. I really like everything that brings to the table. Not everybody is me. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more traditional, a little bit more ubiquitous in looks, a little bit more recognizable, and you're on a budget, this is something that might be worth paying attention to, or maybe not. Again, let me know down in the comments. I'm kind of just rambling at this point. If you want to pick up one of these, there's a link down in the description. They offered me an affiliate link. I'm not using it. So there's no affiliate link here. The only thing I've gotten for this video is this watch. I don't have to send it back. And quite frankly, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it now, because I'm probably not going to be wearing it, but we'll see what happens. Skyrim Wrist, linked in the description. If there's any other alternative options that you do enjoy to a popular Rolex, put that down in the comments also. I want to know, and maybe, hopefully, get it on the channel for review if enough of you want to see that. Till the next time, we'll see you later.